Okay, so I've been wanting to do this video for a little. I just want to make sure I had all the information I needed to share with anyone before I actually made it. So I have a notebook in front of me, which I'll be kind of looking at to see my notes and stuff like that. But first off, I just want to thank anyone that's reached out, whether that's text, Facebook, or they've commented on my Instagram post lately. It really means a lot, especially if, we haven't talked in a long time or whatever. It still means lots, so thank you. So, back in August, I fell on my butt, and it was just sort of like something I didn't really worry about. And about 2 weeks after that, I noticed that I had a bump, and I figured not a big deal. And then a week after that, it started to get sore, so I figured I'll go to the clinic, and this was by September 25th. So by September 25th, all the way to October 11th, I went to the walk-in clinic 3 times. And in that time frame, they had me do an ultrasound, they had me do an x-ray to make sure I didn't break any bones, and they gave me all sorts of pills to manage my pain. And on October 14th, my pain was so bad, I went to the Emerge, and the doctor that saw me there, put in a referral for a CT scan or whatever. And then I went and contacted my family doctor in the beginning of November. And the CT scan showed that I had a hematoma, or it's what they thought I had. So I contacted my family doctor and I was like, I've supposedly had this hematoma for like 3 months now. It's not going away like they said it would. It's caused me lots of pain and I can't live my life like this. So she sent in a referral to an orthopedic surgeon at the hospital, and this is probably mid-November now, and so I was like, okay, I'll wait and hopefully I'll hear back in like at least a month. That's what she said, 4 weeks, something like that. So by the end of December, I didn't hear anything, and I called her up and I was like, I still haven't heard back from that surgeon. Can you please do something because I am suffering? So she did. She made like tons of calls and whatever, and she found me another orthopedic surgeon that would see me, and it's the doctor that I'm currently dealing with right now. And that was January 6th. I finally got to see him, and that's when he mentioned cancer and the possibilities of it actually being cancer and not a hematoma at all. And he said he wanted to do a biopsy. So on the 8th, he sent me for another CT scan, and on the 13th we did my first biopsy, and this is January. And then I had to wait 2 weeks for that biopsy to come back, and it was clear. So February 3rd, I went to go see him again, and that's when he told me the biopsy results. And then on the 8th, I did a second biopsy, which was done by ultrasound, and then I had to wait like another 2 weeks for those to come in, and those were clear as well. But he wasn't satisfied with those biopsy results. He was still really concerned that it could be cancer. So he sent me for a third biopsy to Hamilton, because he had put my case on what they call cancer rounds, and it's sort of anyone's case that they think they might have cancer, or maybe they do have cancer. And it's about 20 doctors in Ontario, and they all talk about what they think it is or what they should do and make plans and stuff like that. So a doctor in Hamilton said that she would be able to get really good biopsy results, but I'd have to go to Hamilton, so that is what I did. On the 30th, I had my third biopsy in Hamilton. And April 7th, my doctor called me saying that the biopsy results were in and that it was cancer. And the type of cancer I had was Angiosarcoma. So that's what it was. And obviously, like, those first 2 days were like really like crazy. I remember just having like crazy stress headaches. Like my head hurt so much all the time. But like the first initial 2 days were really bad, and then after that I just felt better. Like I felt like things were gonna get figured out, and I was okay with that. They initially planned for me to have radiation, which I was gonna do a whole 5 days a week for 5 weeks, which would have been a lot. And they figured that it wasn't the best case because that's lots of radiation close to like my urinary system, my reproductive system, and it could cause lots of damage. So they switched me to chemo. And I'm also in contact with a surgeon from Hamilton who will most definitely be doing my surgery down there when the time comes. So I'm currently doing my chemo right now. Everything's going really good. I feel really good. Honestly, I don't feel like I have cancer at all besides having a bump on my butt. And mentally, I feel great. I think the worst I felt was definitely in January when we first started talking about cancer and the possibility of it spreading, and I was just like a crazy wreck then. But now I'm feeling really good. I'm like really optimistic, really positive, and I'm just sort of living my life, and I wanted to get everyone updated on my situation. So that's it for now, and I'll keep updates coming. Okay, there was a few things I forgot to mention in my last video. I probably had about like 4 CT scans since January to like April. They all come back clear. My doctor just wanted to keep checking to make sure things weren't like spreading and stuff like that because the type of cancer I have tends to spread a lot. I also had a PET scan done on the 25th and that was all clear, so that was really good. And one thing I forgot to mention was that when my doctor told me that I had cancer, the first thing I asked him was this caused by me falling? And he said, no, it wasn't. And that when I fell, I bled into a tumor that was already there. And because I bled into that tumor, it made it difficult to diagnose those first 2 times with a biopsy because it was just sort of like filled with blood, but it was not caused by my fall and the tumor was already there. So kind of a blessing I fell on my butt, but I thought those things were very important to share.